Okay, welcome to this video on 2017 section B, question 5, transformation geometry. Alright, so I'm going to deal with this first one here. So the figure shows the logo for the garage. The logo is subject to the transformations in the following order: central symmetry P to P1, axial symmetry P1 to P2, translation P2 to P3, and rotation about point O until P3 reaches the line OL. Now, I'm going to take you through how to draw just this area here in the logo, as that's the only thing the students really have difficulty with. I am not going to show you how to do the grid. I expect you to be able to do that yourself. Alright, so I'll just move the visualizer over here and get started. Okay. Now, the diameter of the circle is 56. So the radius of that circle will be what? So what will the radius of that circle be? And the answer is the radius will be 26, alright? And then we have another radius of 40 to draw in. So a common mistake students do is they will mix up radius and diameter, okay, which is not what we want. So now, if you look at the question carefully, you will see that the portion here is 32, so it will be 16 either side of the center line. So I'm going to mark 16 either side of the center line. Alright, now I'm going to go through this here. So this is the area students have trouble with. Now if we zoom in here on the question sheet, we see this line going across here is joined to P. So we'll join them together in. And notice the right angle here, the right angle there. That's critical. And then notice that this line continues on the way until it touches there, and that line is parallel to that one, and the reason it's safe to assume that is because of the right angle there. So we're going to draw in that logo. So two light lines over here, alright, and now I'm going to draw light here to start with. Then I'm going to use my sliding set squares to line up the line here. Sorry, I didn't know the light went off, and I'll turn the light back on. Okay, sorry about that. So line it up here, bring it to bring it to this point here. We'll draw in a light line to begin with, and we'll slide our set square back to here. Okay, right through the center point. We'll heavy in there. Okay, and then we can heavy in here and here. Alright, now, so you're going to heavy in the rest of your logo and set up your grid, and I'm going to pause the video. Okay, right, so I've the grid drawn in here. I'll square up the visualizer. Now, P to P1 is central symmetry. So here's P1. Now, have a think. What do you do? you join P to P1. What do you do then after? You bisect the line P1 to P. So set your compass to more than halfway, or if you find it difficult, just set your compass to the length of the line P to P1. And swing 2 arcs until they intersect. Right. So you bisect the line here. So here's the center point of symmetry. Now, do this. All the points that are brought through the center point of symmetry. So I'm going to do here with the center of my circle, I'm going to bring it through the center point of my symmetry. Alright, and I'm going to put my compass here on CP and bring the nib to point P. Now, notice what's going to happen here if it's done accurately. Right, I meant to bring it to the center point. So I bring this over and I swing it over here. Alright? And there we have it there. So it forms a straight line there, a horizontal line there. There's the center point of symmetry. Now, the radius remains the same. So we set our 2 radius. Okay, this is our radius here. If it goes off a little bit, just use the original, or the radius CP to C1. CP to P1. Now, we're going to bring our points. We can bring our points all the way through the center point of symmetry. But let's be as clever as we can. Alright, we know this is 32. And as you bring this through, it's going to pass over onto the other side. So, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to measure up 16 and down 16. Alright, and I'm going to draw 2 light lines across. The radius still remains 40. So I'm going to set my compass to radius 40. And I'm going to draw in two arcs there and heavy in this portion. So the portion of the logo that's cut, oh shucks, I went too far there, a tad. Alright, the portion of the logo that's cut out here is going to be in this area. But be as clever as you possibly can. Alright? So this, what you call it, point is going to join to P1. Alright, so I'm going to join that to P1. Just like if you sorry, not that point, this one, just one sec now, here, so I'll do it like this. So I'll join you through the center point, okay, and it's going to land right here. So our original one is in the wrong, I was getting mixed up in my head. Put my compass there, flick it around, and it lands there. So I'm going to join here to there, lightly. Now I could, if I wanted to, take this point here, join it through the center point of symmetry, okay, until it hits there. I would prefer though, alright, that I would prefer to keep it the original way, method of finding it, like you done over here. And that will be to draw a line perpendicular to it through the center point of symmetry. So like this. And like this here. So you're keeping the original right angle. That is my opinion on doing it. Only use the minimum number of transformation lines. and then heavy in the circle there. Alright, so that's my opinion. Okay, so I'll leave this running, the video running there on this area for just a moment before I move on. Right now, P1 to P2 is axial symmetry. So how are we going to do the axial symmetry? Okay, let's move my visualizer. Just 1 sec now. So P1 to P2 is axial symmetry. Alright, now these marks here in the page, they're questions from the other side. They're not red, where I use red pen on a leave insert question. So I'm going to join P1 to P2. Alright, and what do I need for an axis? Alright, I need to get my compass, or I said the answer. What do I need for axial symmetry? I need an axis. I'm going to put it on P2, and I'm going to bisect the line to get myself an axis. So here's my axis here. Now all the points move perpendicular to the axis. So I'm going to line up my set squares. And I'm going to move the critical points. So the center point is a critical point. And I'm going to label this here, I'm going to label that A1. So even though I could do this without A1, I just need A1 to help me, or to help us visualize what the image is going to look like. So I'll just extend on that projection line. Now, we're going to get our compass, we're going to put our compass in the axis. Bring the nib over to here. Want to mark it in there. I gotta bring this on a tad more. And here's our center point. Right now, I'll put my compass on our center point, and I'll draw in my circle. I know the center point joins to P1, so I'm going to join center point 2 to P2. And my axis then will be at a right angle to them. So I'll just bring down the visualizer just down here. No, I need to move it down. Right. So I'll side this out. Ah, shucks. Sorry. So I'll draw that in. There's an axis. Right, so A2, alright, where is A2 going to be? Well, A2 will be over here. To double check, I'll put my compass on the axis. I'll bring the nib to A2 that I marked in, okay, that you see there on your screen, which is here, and I'm going to swing it then around to the other side, and you're going to see A2 is down at the bottom of the circle. Right, A2. Now, we So that means that this arc over here that you've seen is going to be out this end. So we're going to do our 16 either side. So our 32. Okay, we're going to draw our lines parallel to our axis. And the radius is still 40, so I'll have my compass set to radius 40. So I'm just setting my compass to radius 40 right now. I'm going to mark it down there, marking the arc there. I can heavy it in here. Okay, I'll heavy in those curves. Now, P2 is going to join to here. Alright, so I'm going to join P2 to there, and I'm going to maintain the properties of the question. Alright, so there's a right angle passing through here. There's a line here from A2 that's parallel to the original one I set up my set square. So I can heavy that in. I can heavy this in. And then I can heavy this in. Right, and that's that part of the question done. So it is. So I'll just pause. So the next part of the question says from P2 to P3 is translation. Alright, so what do we think a translation is? Oh, a translation is the image that moves in a specified order. Right, and the distance remains the same between P2 to P3. So I'm going to join P2 to P3. Right, now all the points move the same distance as P2 to P3. Now if I was you, I would just join P2 to P3 and draw a line from the center point in this case. Now set your compass to the distance of P2 to P3 and put it here on the line from the center point, and that's it there. That's all I'd be doing there, because all the properties then remain the same. A translation, the lines in a translation are parallel to all original lines. So it's basically the exact same thing drawn out in a different area of your sheet. Okay. So I'm going to draw in my center line. My axis. Okay, radius is still 40. So I've set my compass to radius 40. Okay, so I'm redrawing this in. Alright, and then parallel lines remain parallel. Okay, so now we know that's going to hit there. Alright. We know that's there. So these are all sliding set squares, this. and then you can heavy in the lines. Right, and then I'm going to pause the video and heavy that in. Okay, so I've done that there. Now, from P3 is rotated about line O, or about point O, until it hits the line OL, and it's rotated clockwise through 90 degrees. Alright, so it's rotated clockwise through 90 degrees. So this is the point here. Right, now, so we're going to take our compass and we're going to put it on point O. Now, okay, so back to where we were. Put your compass on point O and rotate P3 until it touches the line, okay, OL, and this is P4. Right, okay, bearing in mind it said the angle was 90, we have to test out the angle. The angle here will be 90 degrees in this scenario. Now, if I was a student here, I'd wonder, well, it's set, well actually no, I was going to say, but it said P3 to P4 was clockwise, so why did we go anti-clockwise? But it actually doesn't say anything about the directional rotation. And the reason it won't say anything about it is because you already have the point of rotation. So now, we have to join O to our center point, or whatever point you want. Now, we have to measure an angle of 90 degrees to that line O to CP, okay, from point O. So I'll measure an angle of 90 degrees here. So the new center point will lie on this line. Okay, this line here. So I'm going to put my compass on O, and I'm going to swing the center point until it hits that one there. Right, so this is center point 4. Okay, now, so I'll take my compass. Okay, I'll draw in our circle. It still exists. CP to P4. Right, now, P4 joins the center point 4. We'll draw in a axis perpendicular to that. Okay, it's now a difficult thing to get, right? We'll say, what you call it, just this point here, that would have been called, or did I call that anything? No. Or we'll say this one, A3. So the concept is, join A3 to O. From the line O to A3, measure the angle of rotation, which in this question is 90 degrees, from point O. Alright, so from point O. So measuring in the angle at 90 degrees from point O, we're going to take our compass, alright, and we're going to swing A3 until it hits here. Alright, now, mine is, it's a bit off now in all honesty. It should be touching, if you see it here, it's out there, it really should be in there. So it's like a middle off. So what do I do in that scenario? Well, I have P4 to center point. This component here is going to be passing through there. Alright, so I'm going to measure 16 either side. I'm going to repeat what I've been doing all over. Just redraw the properties of the logo. So There it's either side. Alright, we'll get our radius 40. Okay, now this one joins to P4. Well, and the same with this one here. So actually, alright, it's not my what you call it arc that was wrong. It was this line here is not truly 90 degrees. So now that would have corrected it. So the original inaccuracy was there. So it was that line that was off. Okay, but sure, we've got that now anyway, so that's problem solved. Right. And then we can heavy it in. And heavy in your arcs, which I'll do now, and that will be the question done. Right, so zoom out and give you a look at the finished question. So there we go. Cheers. Thank you. Bye bye.